nearly every phone call we get from clients and potential clients, they ask the same question. Does a police officer have to read you your Miranda rights when you're being arrested?
And the answer is no, not in every case. Miranda is actually the name of a case from the United States Supreme Court. And what that court held is that the only time Miranda is actually going to be applicable is if somebody is in custodial interrogation. But custodial interrogation actually has two separate parts. You have custody and you have interrogation. The custody aspect is going to be defined as when someone is under formal arrest, or at least circumstances rising to the level of someone believed they're formally being arrested. And then you have the interrogation aspect of it, which is more so than someone just asking, or the officer just immediately asking investigatory questions in terms of where you're coming from, where you're going to. We're talking about more questions that are going to elicit incriminating evidence.
Right. And so then the next question becomes, well, if an officer fails to read Miranda rights, you're in custody, and they're asking you those interrogating questions, which they know is going to lead to a response that's harmful to your case. What happens next? And so that's where a defense attorney comes in that we can file a motion to prevent the state from using those statements against you. If a motion is not filed and Miranda rights are not read, then the statements can be used against you. But the second that a judge determines that Miranda rights should have been read, but they were not read, at that point, those statements cannot be used against you.
And that's important too, because that distinction comes in, like you said, it depends on when the person is going to be in custody, right? And that can happen at many phases of a potential investigation. So it's not always we're looking for handcuffs. We're looking for specific language. Is the officer controlling that person's movements? Would they believe that they are being arrested? Because at that point, potentially the statements that come after there shouldn't be used.
Yeah, and the person's age, their mental capacity, a bunch of different factors come in. And so that's, again, where a defense attorney is so critical to make sure those statements are not used against you.
Absolutely.